And there's no judge anywhere that's going to enforce that kind of language in a contract when it's the contract drafter's fault that the damage occurred. And I just explained, I'm not going to hold her responsible for damages to the trailer. That's your fault. You hooked up plastic to plastic with the weight of the water line and the hose on. And it might have lasted for 30 minutes, but it didn't last for 2 days. And that was what the rental was. And the fact that your contract says they're responsible for damage certainly doesn't cover any damage that you are responsible for. I am awarding $535 to Miss Rost. Is it Peggy? Is that an R-O-S-T?
R-O-S-T.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if I got a bad copy. Is it Rost? Rost? All right. And Christopher, say your last name for me. Hunancian? Oh, V. Hovansian? Inchbasis. All right. All right, so you folks are here for a small claims case. Let me lay some ground rules for you. All right, first of all, small claims is different than what we call general civil. First of all, no attorneys are allowed at small claims. But more importantly for right now where we're at is when I make a decision today, you're stuck with it. There's no appellate process to a small claims decision made by a judge. You understand that, ma'am? All right, yes? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, and so you understand that? All right, and you're both okay going forward with that term? Okay. And you just gave me another one of my segues. So if you give me an answer, do a yes or a no, not a head shake or head nod, because I might catch it or I might not if I'm making notes, and it certainly won't record. If there's any evidence visual evidence you want me to consider, pictures, documents, whatever, the way we're going to do that is first show it to the other side, give a copy of it to them if you've got an extra copy. We'll have a quick discussion whether or not there's any objection to me looking at it. If there are no objections, I'm going to look at it. If there's an objection, we'll work through that objection and then I'll decide whether or not I'm going to look at that evidence. Understood that? Understand that process? Are all of you possible witnesses today, or we got some people just here for moral support?
Yes.
Okay, well, I didn't think the little guy was going to testify. All right, so I might hear from all of you. So why don't all 4 of you raise your right hands? Do you folks swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth today? Okay, hands down. Last thing is, you've got lots of time. All right, I'm not going to just give you, I'm not going to turn my time hourglass over and give you 2 minutes and say you're done. We're going to go back and forth. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Anything you want to add? I'm going to go back and forth. You're going to walk out of here and you might be mad, but you're not going to feel like you didn't have a chance to tell me what you want to tell me. All right. I tell you that to tell you this. That means don't interrupt. If somebody's saying something and you want to correct it, don't interrupt. We're going to take turns. I'm the only one that gets to interrupt. And I'm going to tell you right now, I will interrupt you. It's just the way my head works. If one of you is saying something, telling me your story, and I have a question, I'm going to interrupt. I'm going to ask the question. Hopefully you're going to answer it. And then I'm going to start processing that new information as you continue with whatever you're trying to tell me. And I apologize up front because I know it's rude. It's just the way my head works best. And I think that does it all. Ma'am, you started the action, so this is your chance to explain to me why Mr. Hovansian owes you money and how much.
I rented a camper through Marketplace on Facebook, and it was $500 for 2 nights, but I had to give them $1,000 for a deposit.
Let me stop you. First interruption. When you say 500 for 2, 250 times 2 or 500 and 500 for $1,000 weekend?
No, 250 times 2.
I'm with you now. Go ahead.
And I signed everything. I gave him $1,000. I signed the contract.
Okay.
Which, by the way, it doesn't have anything. It's just doesn't have any writing on it other than signatures. And
Let me stop you. What do you mean by that? There's no language on the contract?
well, can I bring this up or?
Sure. I'm assuming you've got a copy of it. Okay. All right. Any objection if I look at it?
No.
Okay. All right. Ma'am, you can stay seated. That's why Joe's here. He can run paperwork. All right. So what are you giving me? Same contract with some addendums?
We both.
Okay. Okay.
Signature.
Okay.
The whole lineup and the control.
Okay. Go ahead, ma'am.
So everything was set to go. He was 2.5 hours late when he was.
He delivered it?
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just curious, how's that work? Like right to the campground you wanted to be at?
yes.
Okay.
He got on the truck and told my husband to back it in because he wasn't good at it. So I'm assuming it might have been the first time riding it or something like that, but, when, he was showing him the ins and outs of it, and he plugged in the water to the unit, it broke off because he didn't have the right equipment to hook it up correctly.
Okay, when you say it broke off, what do you mean?
The water broke off from the side of the camper in his hand.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
And, so we went the whole weekend without any water. We didn't have any, we did use the toilet, we flushed it with water. And, oh,
I have a written, sir, I have a written statement of,
Okay, but you're not a party. She can call you as a witness, but you're not a party.
Mr. Hobiaskian gave us a meeting time.
Okay, let me stop you. I don't do well when people read to me.
Oh,
I'm not an auditory learner. If you'd like me to read that, I got no problem with that as long as he doesn't have an objection to it.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. Show that. Joe, go ahead, take a look at it, see if you have any objections.
So,
Hold on. No objection, sir? No?
No.
Okay. All right. Don't talk because I can't read and listen. Oh, and his handwriting I can read.
my husband.
Hold on, ma'am. Let me read what you want me to read. Okay, I've read it. Go ahead.
So he initially broke the water into the camper and he's trying to make us pay for it out of our $500 deposit that we were told we would get back. And these are the things that he needed to have to hook a camper up correctly to the water, and we didn't have any of them.
Okay.
Before it broke off the side of the
Let me stop you with the money. So how much money did you give him total?
$1,000.
Okay, so that was supposed to be 500 rental, 500 damage deposit, right?
2 days for 500 and then a 500.
Okay. Okay, so you're suing for $500 being the deposit that you want back.
Yeah, I mean, I could sue for more.
All right. All right, anything else at this time? Okay.
So we did call him. Oh, yeah.
You realize you just told me no and kept talking, which is okay if you want to tell me more.
Yeah. He had put it on and made it like sort of work, and then it fell right off.
Right.
It's going underneath the camper. We called him and told him that, and he said he was gonna get somebody out, but nobody ever came. So basically, we were in a box with no water, no running water, and I really feel like we got the shaft.
Okay, all right. Nothing else at this time?
No,
All right. Sir, do you have any questions for Ms. Rose?
so when you claimed that the water was broken, you directly seeking Brady.
did you listen?
No, I asked you directly.
I didn't know,
Okay.
but he was more working with you.
Okay. Any other questions for the lady? Okay. Anything else at this point? Okay, your turn.
Right, so you know the contract we handed over there, that was both acknowledged and signed by the both of us. First of all, that amount she states 250 is incorrect. She signed it, it's like 125, $500 deposit was signed. And if you read where I highlighted for you, that statement in regard to any damage being done to a brand new 2024 trailer that I purchased in May for my family. I chose to rent this unit out personally to folks when we're not using it. We're bringing a free camp a year family. I fully completely know how to hook up a trailer. Here's all the components. City water connection, make it complete. Followed through on everything that, Peggy claims that I didn't do. When we came to drop the trailer off, me, my fiance, and my daughter, who's actually in school right now, we were all in my truck. We met them over there, same plot that they picked out at KOA and Ypsilanti. And even detailed, I mean, I had the original Facebook ad that she responded to, nothing that would have been, out of the ordinary, and I presented a contract that where we both signed and acknowledged us prior to doing any type of payment. Once the contract was signed, then the payment was rendered. Once the rental unit was set up, then the delivery was set up and followed through on. And I guess that we came, we hooked the trailer up, me, my fiance, and my daughter, made sure that all the water and everything was working. We backed it in, I pulled up the city water connection, hooked everything up I needed to make the water operative. Asked Christy to come to the back of the trailer and validate. Hey, go inside, make sure that the toilet's running, make sure that the sink's running, make sure that you have running water. This is my witness, she was there throughout the whole thing, heard it all. I said to Chris, and at the back of the trailer, he did watch me hook up the water, where taking something that may or may not have broken, that's the true issue, it's determining who broke it. I've got enough proof here that says otherwise, and also a statement in my contract that says I'm not held liable for any damage.
What, you're losing me. What proof do you have that showed you didn't break it?
Well, I have pictures after a letter from Chris talking about the water was broken. I have receipts of it having to be repaired at the unit. And it wasn't only the city water that was broken, it was the pipe work inside because the pressure.
Hold on, pipe work inside the camper?
Inside the camper.
Okay.
Routed all the way out to the city connection on the outside of the unit there. It was actually broken. He didn't call me until 30 minutes after we left the site after hooking up the water, everything being operative to tell me that it was broken. That's where the problem was. What he did in between all that, why didn't you validate water was operative at the sink, at the toilet, at the city water connection, and then claim that I broke it directly at the site? At that point in time, sir, I don't do business like that. I would have gladly gave the refund back. We would have discussed it and taken my unit away, but they would not, they can't. Matter of fact, he wrote me a letter stating when they exited the camper, where all the flange was in there. I didn't get anything but a broken flange. Therefore, why they had to replace it.
You're losing me. Flange. What's the flange?
The city water.
Okay.
So it hooks into it, all these components go on there, a pressure regulator at the city water connection, a filter to make sure you get clean water. All this was operative before I left. I came back to this. They weren't even at the unit to discuss anything.
Look, hold on, you're talking too fast. You came back to this. You came back where? To the campsite?
I got my unit after
Okay.
10 years was done that they
Right.
paid for and signed
Right.
the contract. Here's a letter that I came back to from
Okay.
Chris, not even Peggy.
Okay.
Chris stating the broken water connectors in the cabinet. We did not use the shower. When the toilet was used, it was flushed with water, which is fine. Doesn't have to have water to flush or to use the toilet if you needed it to. But the problem is there was no solids left in there. That's why I also had in there extra charges and fees on that because I had to pay for septic to be done when his letters stated otherwise.
Okay.
So the fact of the matter is coming down to the conclusion of how did the city water get broken? If I have everything that says otherwise, he validated himself that it was operative and working, and we left. we went on about our weekend. They rented it, I think, the weekend after 4th of July. I even called my roadside service to try and get them out there for them, but they were so capacitated. I couldn't get them out there from everybody else that needed service. So I scheduled something with the place where I purchased my unit from after they rented, so they could assess, do the work that they needed to. And then I relayed this to Peggy and Chris. You know, it got kind of nasty because we originally started out on Facebook communicating. Then I'm getting contacted from him on her phone. Then I'm getting nasty emails about how I'm a scam, how problem is that the water was broken. So we can both agree on it. I'm not gonna be blamed for something when I'm trying to do them a service for their stay. The fact of the matter is it's broken, it had to be fixed, and this was all after we left.
So on the contract, daily rate 125, weekly rate 100. What does that mean?
What is that?
Daily rate 125, weekly rate 100. What does
Yeah, something
weekly rate mean?
little off. If they got like a 7-day week, I'll give them it for $700.
Okay.
Not $125 a day.
Okay. So how many days did they have it?
And then from the 12th to the 14th,
So you count that 3 days?
it would have started Friday through Sunday, 2 days.
Okay, so that's 250,
Yes.
right? And then I'm trying to figure out why you charge them $1,000 because the math doesn't make sense to me on the contract. Total rental fee is $1,000, 500 of which is the deposit, right?
$80.
250 would be the rental rate, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 750. Where's the missing 250 at?
Here's the extras.
No, I'm on your contract.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
trying to figure out why you have $1,000 on the contract.
You need to see the original act too, so this is.
No, I need to see the contract. You signed a contract. You signed a contract because that was the terms of the agreement. I'm trying to figure out why you're charging $1,000.
Okay, here you go. Clear as day for you. Dumping fee, $80.
Where's that at on the contract?
That's right here. The end of the sheet.
Where's that at on the contract? I'm asking you, what paragraph?
This is all part of it. This is the end that she responded.
It's not part of it. This is the contract. If you have a written contract, this is the contract. That's advertisement.
Okay.
I'm just schooling you. You're in business. If you're going to have a written contract better be inclusive.
Delivery fee, $100 base, and then $50 in line over.
Not in the contract.
Standards.
So I'm going to ask you one more time. How do you come up with $1,000?
Because
What's the 250 that's missing on this page?
$80. The cleaning fee, the dumping fee, and delivery fee.
Give me the cleaning fees.
Dumping fee.
Dump, okay?
$45 cleaning fee.
Yep.
$100 for the dumping fee. Deposit for rental, $500 will be needed up front to secure and hold the rental. Any damages incurred once checked back.
Okay, but you're still $125 short. 80, 45, and 100. No, that's 225, right?
I think she, yeah,
So you're $25 short,
$25?
right?
Okay. I did.
Okay. All right. So what damage did you keep? I mean, do you have some itemized parts list, labor? Okay.
Here's how it all began. I picked up the trailer. There's the letter. There's the pictures when I picked up the unit.
Okay. What I asked you for is your list of damages that you're trying to hold them responsible for. Okay. Show that to Miss Rose.
Oh, the subject too. Here's all the dumping that came out of the subject. You might show them this as well. I apologize.
Let me know if you have any objections to me looking at those documents.
I would like to say something.
No, that's not where we're at.
Actually,
Do you have any objections to me looking at those documents? Any objections? Ma'am? Thank you. Give me a chance to peruse. Oh, good God. All right, if I'm reading this correctly, the general RV center total was 300.
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
It's all on that list, I just can't remember because of everything.
All right, so I think you made some reference to a comment about water lines inside the camper, not just out on the wall, on the exterior, but some kind of inside stuff damage.
So
Does that show up on the RV, the general RV thing?
the inspection that needed to be done and all that broken down. Yeah,
All right, hold on, I'm not seeing that in the paperwork you just submitted. I got a post-work customer approval, general RV. Shows city water flange black. The only thing I'm seeing charges for is the $200 for the flange and then $100 labor. I don't see anything in here about water lines.
okay.
So I'm assuming there were no repairs made to the water lines.
Okay. If it's not on there,
Okay.
I have no idea why.
Okay.
I'll have to contact General Air.
Okay. Well, what was your understanding of what was done?
The water lines were replaced inside all the way up to the pump leading back out to the city water connection.
And any idea why?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Whatever they did, they had
All right.
extension in there.
Is this the flange that is referred to in here, the $200 part?
Broke.
Okay.
Which, not having that part on there would make the water inoperable, but the water operated before we went. Validated.
Okay. Is this post repair or pre-repair?
That is pretty. I
Okay.
don't know if I have a photo. I can get a photo of it.
Right.
Issue here too, going back on the conversation of all the extra fees and all that, the contract. It was explained to Peggy in her messages before we even signed the contract, what the extra fees were. She acknowledged it and then went on to go and sign the contract. From now on, I'll itemize those going to a contract because you are 100% right. It should show, but it shows it right here.
All right.
Numerous methods of contact that we had via email and Facebook Messenger.
Okay. So you haven't returned any of the $1,000, correct?
No,
Okay. And 500 of which was for the 2-night rental, correct?
for the website.
The rental.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the other 500 was,
Okay, but the rental's only $250. That's why, see, I'm having trouble with the math. She told me the rental rate was $500. Your contract says it was $250.
understood because the things that we were discussing in our messages about these extra fees and what.
The dump fee and the cleaning
It
fee.
was all acknowledged.
Okay,
It's right here.
okay.
You want to read through these two? I asked her, Peggy, you understand what the contract states? Go ahead and sign it. Then you can follow up with the deposit. We'll go ahead and then schedule your lot rent. And then once you get that down, give me the place where you're going and I'll be.
Okay.
I help save on my
Okay.
insurance by having other folks travel with my trailer to not damage it.
All right, so the 500 would be the 250 for the 2 nights
Yes,
plus all the incidentals.
yes,
All right, and then 300 for the general RV repair,
yes,
which leaves a balance of $200 of their money.
yes.
So you agree that you owe them $200?
No, I don't agree.
Well, what's that for?
What do you mean?
Why are you keeping the extra 200?
Well, when they started throwing around threats of going to court and driving by my house and taking pictures, yeah, I held on to their money and I would let it jump.
Okay.
Like you decide how we move forward.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
being called a scam, like I had asked this woman if she would come to help,
okay,
you know, all hours of the night, you know,
okay, hold on.
I'm not trying to be
Okay.
here. Oh, my God, and I ultimately.
Okay. All right. So is there anything else you want me to consider at this point?
I mean, this whole file really, because kind of every question you've asked me is right here written leading up to, it was all stepped up.
Okay.
You know, and I keep track of that, but she was really the only one I got to talk to this year.
Well, I don't think she's disagreeing that the original rental rate was 500. So, I mean, that was the original testimony, correct? Okay. All right. So what we're talking about is the difference between that 5 and the 1,000 you paid. Right?
Right.
Okay. All right. All right. Do you have any questions for him?
Yes.
Oh, go ahead. No. Listen closely. Do you have any questions for him? If you just want to tell me more about from your story, that's okay. But do you have any questions for him?
There.
All right, that's counterproductive. If that's the only question you've got, then what do you have to tell me that you want me to consider?
I heard him say he was gonna try to get somebody out there to fix it. And then he left, and we called him after that, because it fell right on.
Right.
It was not hooked up properly, it didn't have the regulator and all that stuff. He broke it, and he knows he broke it. He was lying.
Okay.
Sir. Yeah, I had some.
Not unless she calls you as a witness.
I called him as a
You're not a party. You can ask him questions to elicit his testimony, but he's not going to sit there and tell me a story.
Well, I don't know what he wants to say, so I mean.
Can't help you. Anything else from you, sir?
I call my witness.
All right. You're under oath. Go ahead and ask your questions.
What's the water after the working before we left?
What's your name, ma'am? Last name? West, just like the direction? Okay. Anything else?
When we did leave, about how long after we left, we get a phone call from Chris claiming that the water was frozen in out of the.
But 13 after we left, he said it broke out and it was, Chris said it fixed, but it wasn't broken, but he got it working, so it would be used. If we left, then it was broken. Then it wasn't working.
Okay, that confused me. Did you have trouble hooking it up?
At first, yeah, because I couldn't get the filter to adapt to it, and then I got the filter to work, and then Chris came around to the back of the trailer while I was hooking it up. And at the same time, I said, we should be good now, you mind going in the trailer and validating if it's working? Talking the sink and the toilet, that's it, the shower too. He ran all of them, she heard him from the vehicle say, yeah, it's working. How about the sink, Chris? Yeah, it's working. How about the toilet, Chris? Yeah, it's working. Okay, good.
Okay.
If you guys have any problems, give me a call. 30 minutes down the road, I get a call. The water's broken, Chris. And then I was all sorts of everything
Okay.
throughout the whole weekend.
Okay.
Even trying.
Did you go back?
Huh?
Did you go back when they called you?
Because we
Okay.
had a daughter that we.
Okay. Do you happen to have any pictures of the actual part so I know what broken is?
Let me see, this is the only component.
Because I'm not a camper. I have no idea what this hookup's supposed to look like.
The fix. And that would have been great with all these negative photos of everything. You mind if I look at my?
No. Or maybe you can just describe on your photo what's broken.
So where you see that flange broken off of there,
Hold on, I got to find that picture. I got it here somewhere. All right. Yeah, I'm looking at this big picture. What's broken?
so if you don't mind,
No.
we take. This piece goes to the city water connection going into the trailer. This,
So that piece in your left hand screws into this thing. So the filter screws in here,
or you.
right?
That in.
And then that goes on the other end,
Filter by front.
right?
Then this piece goes in water connection, it's feeding the water.
Right.
To the trailer.
So something's broken here.
the piece that would attach this to it.
Okay,
And if this was a part of it, take a garden hose and you attach this to it, that wouldn't attach to it.
okay,
Therefore, the whole city water is just in hot.
right.
That's why I call it.
So the piece that's broken, is that a piece that turns into this, or it's an actual part of this that broke off?
Position that he's going on the inside. I mean, I'm an engineer at work. It's a crappy design, if you will.
All right, so there's supposed to be another piece that if this was a complete unbroken unit, I'd be looking at a totally different picture.
I mean, you know,
Correct?
yes.
Okay,
It gets pricey because that's how it goes. I mean, you can get them in brass.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with the model unit that I bought coming from the manufacturer, it's the design of like a two-piece. Picture the piece you have on the trailer and the one that broke off. This should have fed to something inside. Therefore, why I mentioned the lines had to be.
right,
Because in that is a water pump that inside the unit pumps all that water if the city water was operative and keeps me pressurized.
Right.
Water, stuff like that, you know.
okay, all right,
This is my first time camping around.
Okay.
in a camper. I've only one my whole life too. So.
okay, all right. Anything else from anybody?
I just wish I had the finalized picture for you again, so it wasn't a bunch of negative about that.
Gotcha.
It's pretty simple. Here we just need to get to a solution.
Yeah, okay. Anything else from you? Go ahead. Okay. Put your full name on the record, sir.
Christopher J. Roth.
Thank you. Go ahead.
How did she hear everything that was said when she was in the trunk?
That's not a question for your husband. That's a rhetorical question for me. Elicit some facts from your husband if you have them.
Terms of what's needed to hook up a camper properly, so that it will not do that if he had none.
Yes.
Can we show?
Sure. First show them to Mr. Havazian.
Damn, are they questioning each other? They can do that?
Yeah, just like you just did with your
I
wife.
thought they were questions directly.
No. See if you've got any objection to me looking at those photos, sir.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What's the objection?
There's a pressure regulator.
What's the objection to the photo?
Oh, no.
Okay.
This is all part of the manual. Like, this is regular camping etiquette.
Okay. So you're okay with me looking at those photos?
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Standard.
All right. Go ahead.
Well, he didn't have any of that. It was hooked up incorrectly by him. And he rigged it so it worked for a little bit, and when they left, it broke instantly.
Okay. Anything else?
And
Do you have any questions for Ms. Rose?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Did you directly see me break one?
what my husband told me, he doesn't want it. He doesn't have.
Anything else?
There was another part she said, but I mean, every question I asked
I know.
throws me off. Like, so I agree. I'm gonna ask.
Okay. Yes. If she wants to question you,
I have the question.
you're not a party to the lawsuit. All right. I won't disagree.
What parts did he have and what parts did he not have to go to camper out? Record.
The 90-degree brass elbow in that picture would attach to the male water inlet on the side of the camper. And those are attached to keep there from being excessive pressure from the hose and the filter. It directs it in a 90 towards the ground.
Right. So the weight of the filter is not resting on the plastic. Right.
There's another piece that's about 6 inches long, and it has a spring. And you would hook that on next to the 90-degree brass elbow, And then to that, attach your filter.
That's what you're calling the filter extension,
Yes.
right?
Then you would attach your water hose to that and run it to the city water valve. And on the city water valve, you would put a pressure regulator. Usually has a dial.
Right, like this.
Yes.
Okay, I'm with you.
And then you connect your water to that, your hose line to that. What that valve does, it keeps the water pressure from getting too high. That would keep from exploding the lines inside of the camper. Now, the way it was hooked up was the water line was hooked to the trailer. And then in line was the filter hooked up to the city water valve. There was no meter device for the valve.
So it was city water, hose, filter, camper.
Correct.
Okay,
No 90-degree brass adapter. So that caused excessive weight, the weight of the hose and the water in the hose to tear off that piece. Okay. Once that was broken off, it was unable to be used.
okay.
Also, sir, if I may add, if there's water in the holding tank and the pump is on inside the camper, then yes, you will get water flowing from your tap. That's what I witnessed, was water flowing from the tap. I don't know if it was from pressurized water that came from the hose, or if there was water in the holding tank, fresh water in the freshwater tank.
All right.
But yes, that's what I said. Yes, it's worth.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Sir, questions for Mr. Rose?
Yeah, Chris, how would you have saw any of the way that I hooked up anything if you were on the inside of the trailer? Tells me that the water was running.
I was on the outside when you attempted to hook it up, and when the male adapter was broken on the camper.
Why didn't you directly take that up with me while we were standing there? Why did it take you
I
30
did.
minutes after we left and told me that the water was hooked up? That's cool that you brought all those photos to how to properly hook up the trailer. Well, can you efficiently tell me that I didn't hook it up when you were inside the trailer telling me that the water was operative and functioning at the toilet without the pump running?
All right, there's a long question there. Break them down. One
I was
question.
on the outside of the camper with you when you hooked up the water to the campers.
Tracy, where was Chris when?
Okay, are you done with Chris? Are you done with Chris?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Tracy, where was Chris when I asked him if the water was hooked up with an operator?
I didn't see months ago.
So again, if I may ask, how would
Who
you,
are you asking?
Chris,
Go ahead.
how would you be able to validate if I hooked up the water correctly with all the parts you showed and what I did and didn't have if you were inside the trailer and you were telling us? And again, going back to how the windows were open in the vehicle, everything. Talking about. How did you know whether or not I hooked it up if you were inside the trailer right before we left, saying water in the bathroom ran, the toilet ran, and the sink ran fine? You did not address.
Okay, once again, that's a run-on. That's a run-on. So let me ask you this. Did you ever go out and check out the water hookup after you had no problems or had problems with water? Did you ever go outside the camper and look at what was going on?
I was outside the whole time.
Okay. Did you ever see this?
No.
Did you ever see this? The 90.
No.
That wasn't on the hose, that wasn't on the camper, that wasn't on the filter. All right. Anything else from you?
Yeah, do you have pictures of how it was hooked up? The clearly what signals?
No, I didn't think I was going to need them. Thought we were.
All right. Anything else?
And again, when we left the trailer after hooking up the water, was it not operating at the sink, at the bathroom, at the shower, like you said?
After you attempted to make that repair, yes.
That's all my question.
Anything else? Ma'am? Anything else?
Feel like, We've been scammed. That's why.
Okay. So you paid a filing fee to the court. Was it $35 or more than that?
It's 30 bucks.
All right. Did you have any other out-of-pocket expenses?
My husband getting just 2 days of work.
Yeah, that don't count.
Um,
Sucks, but it doesn't count.
she does, because he doesn't get paid.
All right. Any other out-of-pockets?
$1,000, that's all I gave him. And then we were going to pay them.
Okay. All right. All right. Anything by way of closing argument?
If you don't mind, sir, it also states in the contract what was signed and acknowledged the highlighted areas we agreed.
Particularly, what do you want me to look at?
Any damages, statement of.
Yep, I saw that. Anything else?
Your Honor,
Not you. Anything else? Yes. Anything else? Yeah, I've been here. I've been here. I've been listening. I understand that's your position. Anything else? All right. So small claims cases are civil. Civil cases are determined by a preponderance of the evidence. That means if it's a 51 to 49, the 51% wins. It's pretty clear to me that the way it was described is exactly what happened. You hooked up plastic to plastic with the weight of the water line and the hose on it. And it might have lasted for 30 minutes, but it didn't last for 2 days, and that was what the rental was. And the fact that your contract says they're responsible for damage certainly doesn't cover any damage that you are responsible for. I am awarding $535 to Ms. Rost.
Did you, Your Honor, you said you read the contract at the bottom there, it's highlighted about not being responsible for any of the fees that are in the contract or the damages and.
And I just explained, I'm not going to hold her responsible for damages to the trailer. That's your fault. And there's no judge anywhere that's going to enforce that kind of language in a contract when it's the contract drafter's fault that the damage occurred. You did the damage. You hooked up the trailer wrong and it broke. So you can go downstairs and in probably 5 to 10 minutes, we'll get a copy of that judgment for you. Have a nice afternoon. You're welcome. Oh, you guys can get all your documents and photos back. Joe's got them all up here. Keep up with all that, Kennedy?
it's a lot. Thank you.
Do you want me to use up?
Yeah, well, you can't get it all. Shut this down.
Right. Mr. Van Ash, you're here for the contracting company?
Yes.
All right. All right, so a little ground rules. First of all, small claims is different than what we call our general civil docket on a couple different points. The main one probably is the fact that when I make a decision today, you're stuck with it. There is no appeal to a small claims case made by a judge. You understand that? All right, and you're both willing to go forward understanding that? All right. Keeping with my ground rules. I'm pretty informal. So I'm just going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until I'm convinced that you've told me everything you want to tell me. So don't interrupt. So if the other side's saying something and you want to correct it, don't feel that you have to interrupt. We're going to just take turns. I'm going to give you plenty of chance to do that. When you're talking, try to stick with audible yes, no, I don't know, instead of the head nods and head shakes, because although I might catch it if I'm looking, it's not going to record. What else? I don't see any witnesses, so I'm assuming I'm going to hear from you two. All right, so why don't both of you raise your right hands? Do you swear or affirm tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth today? Okay, let me think. Oh, and the last thing, I am going to interrupt you. It's a guarantee that you're going to be saying something and my mind's going to come up with a question. I'm going to interrupt you to ask the question. I don't do it because I'm trying to get you off your game. It's just the way my mind works. When I have the question, I want to get the answer so I can start processing that. I think that's it for the ground rules. So Ms. Martin, DT's the plaintiff. Tell your story.
So I'm on the damage claims team. So what our team does, if there is damage to our property and or equipment, we seek to recover damages to our property and our equipment. So on July 22nd, 2021, there was some construction done at the site. The site was, I don't want to say bigger, but it's a new construction site. So there were no homes there
Mhm.
or anything at that time.
It's just site work at that point in time?
Sorry.
Site work. They're prepping the property to start construction. Okay.
So on July 22nd, 2021, at 1018 Van Wright in Novi, Michigan, there was an underground cable that was struck by Van Ash and Company. From that point, when the underground cable was struck, there was a ticket, so our crews have to go out and identify the damage, and they have to identify what was the cause of that damage, because it could lead to outages for our customers.
Right.
Sure. So I think in a nutshell, that's pretty much.
Okay. Okay. So what was the extent of the damage? How did you determine who was at fault?
So when the crews go out to the site, to look at what happened, they make some notes in what we call, the chronology. So this is our contract, or not our contract, but our underground, crews. They said that, there was a hit between two transformers, and I can show you on some documentation what that is. But it says that it was a hit between transformer one, transformer two, pull cable out of the -1 into conduit, cut and abandoned cable, tag our equipment, will need to replace the stretch. So with that being said, when our crews made the final repairs, that's when the invoice was sent to Dan Ashton, his company. And the damages that we're seeking, it was a total of $7,312, but because it's a small claim.
Yep.
Seek the 7,000. So, we met with the mediator. I don't know if you want me to keep going. But we met with the mediator, and, Mr. Van Ash admitted that the cable was hit.
Okay.
But he believes that the stakings that are entered after this big ticket was submitted by his company, which is the right thing to do. He believes that the stakings were incorrect, but they were not incorrect based on easement. So that's the amount of room that, we have to do any type of work or repairs, what have you. He stated that based on the stakings and just the easement, that there was nothing done on his part. However, misdid law, which is to protect the safety of anyone that's doing any digging, excavating, boring, etc., is to ensure safety above all things. But with that being said about Ms. Dig, well, I'm gonna check it up. But with Ms. Dig, he did call it in as he was supposed to. And we have another company that goes out, they do the staking. And there's also another diagram that we have where the staking lines up with one of the poles that's out on the street. You can see it. And the staking is gonna go all the way from the front to the rear of the line. Again, it's all gonna, and some of the drawings that we have. But again, he said that he didn't hit the cable there, but there was no other place that it could have been hit based on what the proof remarks were, where the damage occurred, and then just based on some of the overlays that we have of the schematic where our where our equipment is.
All right. So the field report, for want of a better way to call it, said that the line was dug up between transformer 1 and 2.
Correct, it was hit, yes.
Okay. And the damage that was done between 1 and 2 caused that line to be replaced at the cost of 7,000 plus.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's determined by, so we have, is the repair damage is based on what the crews have to go out and repair, is based on labor, equipment.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think this work was done a little bit more extensive because the line was hit, et cetera, right?
Yeah, but it sounds to me like the dispute is whether or not where the line got damaged was where Misdig told them the line would be. Okay. All right. Do you have any questions for Ms. Martin? Okay. Anything else before I switch sides?
I had lost my train of thought, I remember what it was.
Well, you got it back?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, when it does, I'll give you another chance. All right. Mr. Van Ash, tell me your story.
Most of everything she said was correct. But we weren't preparing the site. The site was already prepped. The utilities were already in. We were coming there to dig the basement.
Okay.
So now when we come to dig the basement, we call Miss Dave, which we did. And then we go out there and we observe, okay, there's the lines in the easement. The basement's staked out. We're digging up as we're excavating the basement.
First interruption, I think. Did you guys stake the basement or does the contractor do that and just you come out and dig where he told you? Okay. All right. So go ahead. Go ahead.
It's in the ring. So as we're digging the basement, we strike a line that wasn't marked. So we hit an electric line. So we got it shut down, we call it in, they come, they fix it. And the crew that came out realized, oh wow, this wasn't even, we didn't know this was here, this is supposed to be up here in the easement where it was marked.
Okay. So they had another interruption. So DTE had an underground line that was not within the easement that was, and the easement was where all the Mystic flags were at.
So then the repair crew came out, and unfortunately, I'm not familiar with hitting lines. You have it.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
And usually it's around $2,000. They come out, they patch it. That's
Right.
And then, but when they came out to repair this, they realized, well, they can't just repair this line because it would be, in the laundry room of a house. So they had to go all the way over here, then all the way over here, and put it in properly. And that's how I got up to $7,000.
So in essence, they rerouted
They rerouted.
the line.
So the crews came out and misled me, I guess, because they were like, oh yeah, that's not your fault, it's over here, it's all this, so. Like, okay, well, it's terrible that I lost a day of work now, because now I can't dig a basement, because I gotta eat, and, luckily nobody got hurt, but, and then years later, we start talking about this again, thinking, well, I wasn't really prepared to, get statements and the pictures and all this, I just thought, hey, I thought that's what this was. So I said, well, can you justify? I said, so if I would have showed up, if Ms. Pig would have marked it properly, I wouldn't have dug it up. I said, hey, you can't dig this basement. There's a line in the way. Then another crew had to come out and I think spend $7,000 to put it where it belongs.
Get it out from under the new house.
Yes. So I'm not disputing that it cost $7,000. I don't dispute that amount. I don't think hit a line that was in the easement and then got cashed back. And then caused this whole thing to get replaced. I think, well, why am I responsible for the installation of this line to be installed properly? It should have been day one. I'm the one that got put out the day's work in the threat of injury or
Right.
all that. I did everything I could do. I called this dig, I trusted it, I assumed it was there, and it wasn't as if we encroached into the easement, got within the 4 feet. Because we are familiar with the standards, and sometimes they are a little bit off, and we can dig, if we know where to get that close, we do can dig and find it. And then she had some pictures, when we did the mediating, you can see actually damage in the whole of the basement. And there's no subdivision that I know of that has. The only electric on the property is the service to that house that comes later. You know, you can't have your neighbor's primary
Right, I got you.
line running that close to your house.
So how, if, and I know it's been a while, 21, right? Yeah. If you can answer this. So you're working at spot A and that's where you hit the cable. How far was A, distance wise, feet wise, how far was A from the nearest misdig flag? If you remember.
I couldn't say, because it could have been a side yard, so it could have, if it was, I don't believe it was the backyard, because then it would be like 60 feet. So I think it was a side yard, you know, so it could have been 8 feet away from the markings.
Okay,
Enough where we don't care where they are. They-
Right.
4 feet, they give themselves 4 feet of the line.
right. Yeah, so if the basement was staked within 3 feet of the flags, you would have hand dug that section of basement.
Well, we never have to find the wires to stay basement. The only time we have to find the wires is for the utilities. We're bringing the sewer in the front. We gotta find utilities.
Gotcha.
These,
Gotcha.
bringing the water. We gotta find-
You're coming across the easement to get to it.
Digging the basement, I can dig a basement, I can dig a pool, and do whatever I want
Right,
in the yard.
right,
That's weird.
right. Well, supposed to be.
So, and if there was a road misdig line, we would have just said, hey, we can't take this basement.
Right,
It has happened.
sure.
Where, hey, they cut a corner, because when it came there, it was just a field.
Right,
And it's like, ooh, they weren't prepared for you guys to divide this into, maybe it was divided into condos and now it's houses.
right. I got you.
So they could have got away with it if they were just gonna do a 5 unit condo, but now that they're doing single homes. We're tired in a corner,
Mhm.
you know, that was my, so then normally what I do is we do it.
Yeah, it happens. I got you.
And normally I can just turn it over to the insurance. It's like, hey, sorry. You know,
Right.
they smack me in the head and tell me to be careful. Which, but then when I seen the $7,000 and I know that's just for the rerouting. Then I'm not paying for them to put it in properly.
Right.
You owe me $7,000 for wasting my day, you know, so it was kind of my principle. I was just like, you know, no, then we went to mediation and tried it out there and. You know, offered
It didn't work, obviously.
90% of it. They can't.
Okay. All right. Anything else at this time? Ma'am, do you have any questions for Mr. Van Ash?
So they,
Sorry, and I've heard your name 2 different ways, Van Ash and Van Ashy. You guys say it with, extra syllable, Van Ashy. Got it. No, that's,
So the families.
yeah, really? You guys don't even all agree. Okay, well, Grandpa's usually right. Go ahead.
my first question is, when you hit it or you thought that something wasn't correct, why wasn't another mistake taken? Why wasn't another ticket called in for mistake?
We didn't do any more digging. Bang, that zaps in your face and we're done for the day.
Okay. Do you have any proof as to where the damage occurred and where you're saying it did occur?
No, well, other than the picture that you had during mediation, that we spoke of, but that you, but with the guys in the field, after talking about it and led me to believe like, oh, you know, they're apologizing to me, like, hey, we're sorry, this shouldn't have been there, there's no way they should have, you know, they cut a corner and it's whatever. I didn't know to be so defensive 3 years ago at the time, because it just seemed so common sense played out, and with this got brought back up. No, they don't have. Other than the simplest way I would say is, how can a $2,000 damage cost $7,000? It's because it had to get. You know.
Any other questions for Mr. Van Ash? Go ahead.
He stated that in the past when he said.
Hold on, that statement to me, do you have you don't have to have do you have a question?
Yeah.
Go ahead and ask it.
And you said that in the past, this cable contacted your insurance company. How come you didn't contact your insurance company when this occurred?
On the principle of the $7,000. I could have just turned it over and I thought, you know what? No, I'm not gonna put my insurance company through that. My insurance company did all this properly. If I would have shown up and said, we're not taking the basement, somebody else would have paid $7,000 to do it properly. So in principle, I was like, and I've been talking to people through this for, since maybe a year ago. And I explained it. I said, this is ridiculous. I just as a courtesy to my insurance company, and I think maybe my rates would go up, and what they think of me would be less, that I didn't be responsible. I mean, I'm not perfect. I admit that I have some of the insurance right now, maximums, but just on principle, $7,000 I thought was just wild.
Right, but if you had turned it over to your insurance company, they would have had that discussion with us and they could have got, and they could have determined what amount would have been fair to pay out.
Yeah, but you chose to go with small claims, so I get to decide that.
Right, but.
Well, the
Yeah, but
answer to that question was.
Because-
Nobody's under an obligation to involve their insurance company.
Right, usually, so when we have a lot of people that get our property in for equipment, right? So when there's something that has happened, they usually send it to the insurance company where they dispute it. We worked through another vendor, but there was no response. This could have been handled a little different. And I did, you're saying that, there may have been some fault on our end or what have you. But my point is, I know he said in the past that he's hit our cables quite often. And when we did go to the mediator, I did say, hey, let's just have to do 50%, right? Because there's no disputing he hit the cable. But again, our crews have to go out and do some type of repairs or whatever.
Right. But the cable was also not marked by mistake. That was his testimony.
Right, so I do have pictures if you want.
Okay, I don't want anything. It's your case. So if you'd like me to look at those pictures to support your position, I'm happy to see them.
Yes.
So first, whatever photos you want me to look at, we'll show them to Mr. Van Ashe. Make sure either he's got copies or he at least knows what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I can for him.
In this courtroom dispute, a camper rental quickly turned into a legal battle over a damaged water connection and a withheld security deposit. The plaintiff argued that the trailer's water system failed because it had been connected incorrectly by the owner, leaving the family without running water throughout their camping trip. They believed the damage was caused before they even had the chance to use the camper properly. The defendant strongly denied those claims, insisting that the water system was working perfectly when he left the campsite. He argued that the damage occurred after the renters took possession of the trailer and pointed to the rental agreement, repair invoices, and messages exchanged between both parties to support his case. Throughout the hearing, the judge carefully questioned both sides instead of accepting anyone's version of events at face value. He repeatedly challenged inconsistencies in the rental contract, especially regarding the pricing, extra fees, and missing documentation. The judge also emphasized that a written contract must clearly include every charge if it is going to be enforced. As the testimony continued, expert-like explanations about camper water connections, pressure regulators, and repair costs became central to the case. The judge patiently sorted through the evidence, asking for photographs, receipts, and detailed explanations to determine exactly who was responsible for the damage. In the end, the case highlighted how important clear contracts, proper documentation, and solid evidence are in small claims court. Rather than relying on emotions or accusations, the judge focused on the facts presented in court, showing that even a seemingly simple rental dispute can become a complicated legal case when both sides believe they are right.